Today we're going to get started with Unit 6, the last unit in the first semester. It is a relatively easy unit. It's a lot of vocab, but this first lesson does have a little bit of math involved. So there is some vocabulary as well, and that's a midsegment. Okay? A midsegment is a segment connecting the midpoints of two sides of a triangle. Okay? We're going to focus on triangles. We also have midsegments in trapezoids and other things as well, but we're going to focus on triangles here. Okay, so in this figure here, we can say that XY is a midsegment. How do we know that it's a midsegment? Well, the markings show that X is the midpoint, and I'm going to abbreviate here, of PM, and these markings show that Y is the midpoint of PN. If they're both midpoints and there's a segment connecting them, it is a midsegment. Okay? Next question, is DE a midsegment? Okay, a lot of people look at it and think, yeah, it is. It's in the middle of the two segments, but we cannot actually say that it is a midsegment. The reason is we don't know if D and E are midpoints. There's nothing on here that says that D and E are midpoints. If they were, it'd be a midsegment, but if we don't know that they are, we can't say that it's a midsegment. Okay, the triangle midsegment theorem, which you're going to use a lot, okay, especially in this lesson, says that if a triangle has a midsegment, then it being the midsegment, is parallel to the third side. So what do I mean by the third side? So up here, it's parallel to the side it doesn't hit. Okay? The third side is the side it doesn't intersect, which seems kind of like a duh because I just said it's parallel. Parallel means it never intersects. But if you're looking at the midsegment, the third side is the one that it doesn't touch. Okay? Not only is it parallel to the third side, it is half the length of that third side. Okay? Now that can be a little bit confusing because you're using fractions. Half is a fraction. Another way of saying number 2 is kind of looking at it the opposite way. The third side is double the length of the midsegment. Okay, so up here, if this was 5, this would be 10. If this is 16, that's 8. That's all that's saying. Okay? Now this is what you're going to have to do quite a bit. Find the value of X. This one's not too bad, but the first thing I'm looking at is, got the markings, BC is a midsegment. Okay? Now, if the midsegment is 6 units long, DE has to be 12 units long, right? So basically what I'm saying is DE is 12, but this is saying DE is X minus 1. So I can just do a substitution and I can say X minus 1 equals 12. Okay? I get a lot of people that get this mixed up and they try to use algebra and they go the wrong way. Instead of saying 6 equals half of X minus 1, they'll say 6 equals 2 times X minus 1 and then get it backwards and get it all messed up. Okay? But if you think of it this way, where, okay, I know that's 6, this has to be 12. So I just set that, whatever the expression is, equal to 12. That makes it a lot easier. X equals 13. Basically what I'm saying is when you have X is 13, that's going to get me the side length that I need. Because 13 minus 1 is 12. Okay, we have a few more of those. Find the value of X. Okay? Nothing on here says that these are midpoints though. So I can't do it yet, but then I said up here, given that AY equals AX, so AY equals AX, and BY equals BZ, now I have a midsegment. Now I can solve this. Okay? I look at this one and I see, okay, this is 34, so AB has to be, think about it, Pause it. Try to figure out what AB has to be. Hopefully you realize AB has to be 17. It has to be half the length of that third side. Now that can help me because I can just set AB 3x minus 1 equal to 17. Okay. Add 1, I get 3x equals 18, and x equals 6. Okay. The next one, find the perimeter of triangle ABC. So that's the big triangle. Given that D, E, and F are midpoints. So if D, E, and F are midpoints, that means you have 1, 2, 3 midsegments. Okay, well, DE is 8. The third side related to DE is AB, right? So if DE is 8, AB has to be 16. And I'll write that out because a lot of people have a hard time seeing that this midsegment goes with AB. DF goes with CB. So CB equals 6. And that's because DF equals 3. And then AC equals 14 because EF equals 7. Make sure you can see that. Okay. Now, if you want the perimeter of the whole thing here, you just add those up. That's 20 plus 16 is 36. Okay. Next question, I want you to see this. Nice little relationship they have. How does the perimeter of triangle ABC, the one we just found, compare to the perimeter of triangle DEF? Well, the perimeter of triangle DEF is 8 plus 7 is 15 plus 3 is 18. Okay? Hopefully you see that that's half of that. So the whole triangle is double the triangle made by the midsegments. Which is the triangle DEF. Okay? That's always going to be the case. The triangle made by the midsegments is going to have a perimeter that's half the perimeter of the triangle, the whole triangle. Okay? I'm going to let you try that one on your own. I'm going to check those two tomorrow in class. Okay? Number 2 here. This one's tricky because both the midsegment and the third side have variables. So what do we do here? Okay, and this is, I'm going to take you back to what I said at the beginning. Another way of saying number 2 is this. That is what I'm going to use to help me write my equation. So, the third side is double the midsegment. So I'm going to use those words to write an equation. The third side, 4x minus 2, is, which is equals, double, so 2 times x plus 4. Okay, so 2 of those midsegments will equal the whole third side. Another way of writing it, which I don't like, is the midsegment is half of the third side, which is 4x minus 2. Now that'll give me the exact same equation. It'll give me the exact same answer, but I'm dealing with a fraction here. And a lot of times you're not going to have them work out nice like this. But either one works. I'm going to go with this one though, because it doesn't have a fraction involved. So 4x minus 2 equals 2x plus 8. 2x equals 10. I'm going quick here because I know you can do your algebra. X equals 5. Good thing to do here is to check. Make sure you did it right. 5 plus 4 is 9. This should be 18. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 2, 18. It is. Now how do I find y? Well, if I told you the line is a midsegment, that means that these two sides have to be the same, right? Because that's the middle of these two sides. These two have to be the same. So 4y has to equal 6y minus 1. Do the algebra real quick. So negative 2y equals negative 6y equals 3. And then you can just make sure by plugging it in. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 minus 1 is 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And those should be equal. It's not half of this one. That's only with a midsegment. And the third side. Okay, last question for these notes. What is the measure of angle VUT? VUT, I'm looking for that right there. Okay, I'm giving you that V and U are midpoints. So these are the same and these are the same, which makes VU a midsegment. Which means VU is parallel to RS. If it's a midsegment, it's parallel to the third side. Now, if that's the case, then angle UVT is 81 degrees by the corresponding angles postulate. Right? Parallel lines, then corresponding angles are congruent. So then this is 81 as well. And now I can go ahead and find that 81 plus 32 plus x has to equal 180 because it's a triangle. And I'll grab a calculator real quick. 81 plus 32 is 113 plus x equals 180. Subtract 113 from 180, it's 67. That's 67 degrees. This is really my explanation up here. So I'm going to do that right there. So the explanation would be, because VU is a midsegment, VU is parallel to RS. And since they're parallel, UVT equals 81 by the corresponding angles postulate. Then I can use the triangle angle sum theorem to figure out that x equals 67. Okay? That's in words, but that's exactly what I said up here. Okay. So that's midsegments. We're going to have a few more lessons. It's a short unit, but ask questions on this one if you have any.